I'm Roger Altman. Welcome to this second and final day of the Hamilton Project's Summit on Poverty. Hamilton, which is 8 years old now, is dedicated to developing policies which will promote broad-based growth and raise the incomes of all Americans. We have commissioned papers and held forums on a wide range of issues over these 8 years, issues which bear on this, from budget and tax policy questions to education and incarceration questions. And poverty is a logical extension of this focus because it is so costly to the poor themselves, to society as a whole, and to economic growth. I'm sure that many of you also joined us yesterday and listened to an extraordinary set of discussions on the sad pervasiveness of poverty in this country and on fresh approaches to alleviating it. You heard that 20% of our children, 16 million children, live in poverty today, a stunning proportion. That half of the children born into poverty today will be poor also as adults. That 2 out of every 3 Americans born today will live in poverty at some point during their lifetimes. That 70% of poor families are headed by a single parent, and that minorities are disproportionately likely to be poor. When you hear this data, and then look around and see such widespread affluence in the United States, it's impossible not to feel a combination of outrage, mystification, and commitment. Because, as Bob Rubin said so well yesterday morning, this is not just a policy challenge, it's a matter of justice. Because it is not just for the world's wealthiest country to accept such widespread poverty. We commissioned 14 separate and new papers on poverty for this summit. I hope all of you have a copy of the really remarkable book containing those papers, including our framing paper, which was prepared for this event. At the beginning yesterday, we heard an illuminating discussion on apprenticeships between 2 particularly thoughtful manufacturing CEOs. Then, a panel on new approaches to building skills. Then, an absolutely inspiring speech from President Clinton. No president in modern times has a better record on inclusive growth, on raising incomes, on decreasing poverty than President Clinton. And his passion on the subject of poverty was as clear as day, as was his characteristic grasp of so many policy alternatives. Some of us thought he was going to spend the night with us, but it was an honor. It was serious. It was an honor to have him with us. That was followed by 2 superb afternoon panels, one on supporting disadvantaged youth and one on promoting early childhood development. Today, we're going to hear from 2 remarkable groups also of similarly high-quality panelists. The first, on improving the design of social programs, particularly the Earned Income Tax Credit and the child care tax credit. And the second, on the roles of work-sharing programs and minimum wage policy. And you can see that the prime focus yesterday was on developing skills, and the prime focus today is on the safety net. I want to thank Melissa Kearney, the director of the Hamilton Project, who's done such a brilliant job on this event, the redoubtable Karen Anderson, the managing director of the Hamilton Project, who's been as awesome in this event as she always is, and Ben Harris, our policy director, because the three of them have created and structured this two-day summit, and they've done an extraordinary job. And I also want to thank the entire staff of the Hamilton Project for carrying this off, because without them, none of this would happen. Now let's welcome the first panel, which Melissa Kearney will moderate, among Hillary Hoynes, Jim Ziliak, Scott Cody, and the redoubtable Bob Greenstein. Did I forget someone? Oh, and Gordon. Sorry, my mistake. I'm sorry. President Clinton may be here again in a moment, but let's get this panel going.